Hey, Fantastic Comics viewers, Yule here with a unique opportunity. You can now buy your very own Heel Yule t-shirt. The guys on the Wrestling Council thought that some of the things I had to say were a little heelish, a little negative, and of course everybody at Fantastic Comics knows that this isn't a heel act. This is just Yule. Pure, unadulterated Yule. And now you can get one of my t-shirts in a variety of different colors. Anybody that does will get a discount if you come in the store wearing it and I ring you up. So there's a reason to get it. And it also doubles as a Dodger t-shirt when you're upset with Dave Roberts making ridiculous pitching changes. So don't forget to buy your very own Heel Yule t-shirt. Embrace your inner heel. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fantastic Comics Presents. This is episode number 26. I am not all by myself, so y'all lucked out on that one. I'll be bringing our guests in a moment. How's everyone doing? Y'all ready for some comic book buy-in? Because I got comic books to sell. Well, I have DC comic books to sell, and of course, you know my back catalog that I'm going through and whatnot. Anyhow, those are the two words I don't want to say anymore. Whatnot or anyhow. So I just got them right there. Let's take a moment to say hello to Bruja. Bruja, how are you?
Hey, how's it going tonight? Pretty good over
Oh,
here.
shoot, I don't hear you. Hold on a second. Oh, there you go. Excellent. Oh, that scared me.
Cool. All good now?
I don't know. There's a little delay, but I'm not sure if it's just me or you.
Mm.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, we'll figure it out. I'm sure.
No, that's better. All right. It might just be me. Maybe like the brain and the eyes aren't coordinating necessarily. How's your week been?
Ah, pretty good. Just chilling out, watching a bunch of movies, reading comics, doing the stuff.
Excellent.
How about you? Anything happen at the shop? What's going on over there?
It's pretty boring. There's some things to talk about that are a little bit nuts and bolts, so maybe I should just get those out of the way really quick. Let me see if I can get a banner that makes sense. I guess it's this one. All right. So, in store news, we have DC Comics, and I say they rule the roost, and it's because they're on the shelves right now. My brother, and we could still be receiving an order from. It's not going to happen. So, I'm
Well,
hoping. But I think Diamond Comics is in a little bit of disarray. And
do you think
in.
it's going to be a very prolonged delay, or is it just going to be like a week or two? Or
All right, so everything that. So DC came in pretty normal, a little bit late, but in the morning. So I was able to put the books out, open up, and have some comic books that are new for the day. But Marvel, we're waiting for it to come in, and it's going over to Jeff's house, my brother, because to get it delivered to it's a whole mess. We're basically doing it so that we can make sure to get our order, because non-essential items can get pushed off the truck.
Hmm. Was
Well,
Marvel also doing a thing to where they weren't distributing to actual shops? Or
exactly.
yeah, okay, so that still a problem?
We did this because we were advised to do so by Diamond.
Makes sense.
So, that was their workaround, have it sent to your house so that you don't have to worry about it not, getting pushed off the truck.
Yeah.
What was happening is we'd have to go to UPS and pick it up. But, there was this situation where we were put back on the virus hold list. And then we weren't getting all of our books, and they were filling everybody else's orders, but not ours. And then we were getting it in late. So there's that. But we got that taken care of. And things seem to be doing pretty well. And now tonight, we don't have any tracking or any information about the comic books that are supposed to come out tomorrow. Although we did get a shipment, but the shipment was a reorder. So, not what I need because Empire for Marvel is coming out weekly.
Ooh.
If I don't get it this week and I get it next week, then I'll get 2 with 3. Or if Horrors of Horrors occurs, I won't get any of the Marvel books, and then I'll be stuck with 3, 4, and 5. What good are they? We
Yeah.
screwed my customers, and and then last week we didn't have all of our order. We didn't get our Immortal Hulks in. And that's not necessarily, I mean, it used to be a bigger seller over at the other location, but it still has quite a few fans that, of people that actually walk into the store, they buy Immortal Hulk.
It's
So not
definitely
having that
one of the
isn't
more
good.
popular titles I hear people talk about.
Yeah, it is. Al Ewing's writing it. It's horror based, and it's got really, really awesome art, and it's a different take on the character, but at the same time paying attention to all the things that have happened in the past. So, people that are fans of the old stuff can also dig it. Immortal Hulk plug.
See, no, you're making me actually want to read it because Hulk isn't one of my characters, but I love horror. So when you put those together, it makes it a lot more appealing to actually check it out. Because I have flipped through and the art is really appealing. It's really well done. So if it has a more horror aspect to it, if that's the kind of art I get to look at and read horror, that definitely is appealing.
So what? All right, so there was a comic called Civil War II that came out, and I don't recommend reading it. But the most important thing to have happen, well, one of the most important things to happen was Bruce Banner was killed.
Oh shit.
And there's this whole thing about, and Hawkeye did it, but there's a whole reason for it. It doesn't matter anyway. Hulk's coming back, and what we're finding out is that when he dies, he just rejuvenates and he grows again. And some of the horror is him stitching himself back together, or his body stitching itself back together. And yeah, there's just fantastic, really cool, creepy stuff, and it's got like this. This is a high praise, and I'm not really comparing. It's the only thing is this is the only thing I can think about that it's comparable to is Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein that he did. There's this laboratory scene, and there's like all these jars and beakers and stuff going on, and it's just like minute detail. And there's a scene in Hulk where it's reminiscent of it, though. Not in any way as close as good as that.
Well,
Even. It won an Eisner Award. Let's talk about, let's say hi to everybody first.
yeah.
Hey, Bruja. Bruja's here with me, Yule. We've got Coffee Junkie in the room. Hello, Coffee Junkie. I hope you're doing well. We have Fantinuum, of course. And we have Jilby Pill. Let's see who else. Jeremy Tyner said something just a second ago. Yeah, it won an Eisner. So that Hulk won an Eisner. Was it for best series or book or I shouldn't say book. I mean writer, artist, what? I'm wondering. Oh, hey, Kay Titus all the way from Japan. Konnichiwa. How's it going?
Hope you're having a good lunch.
Yeah, that's right. We're the show that Kay Titus gets to watch in the afternoon. All the other ones are way earlier. Well, not all. It's all day long is what it is. There's just shows about comic books constantly. And then if you add like the Funko Pop shows, it's over. It's all over.
There's some good documentaries on Funko too.
Oh, is there?
Oh yeah, there's one that actually I don't remember what it was called, but Kevin Smith and a bunch of other really famous actors and people are featured in it. And in the Kevin Smith segment, he goes through one of the stores and he's just pulling all of his own pops off of the shelf and signing them and putting them back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cute little documentary. Goes through like the history about how it started with the Big Boy, like you remember with the red and white check. It was like a fast food joint.
Mm-hmm.
Started with that, moved to bobblehead, moved to Funko. It's actually pretty interesting.
We had, I think we had one of the Bob's Big Boy ones in the store. Sold it. It's those like cereal icons or, I'm sorry? It's expensive.
It's a big one for collectors because it's one of the original ones.
Oh, well, I mean, this must have been a more recent one then. They must have redone it or remade it is what I mean.
They do so many remakes.
Yeah. Jill was telling me that she has one. I think it was her BoJack Horseman.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of expensive, I think.
Yeah, I think the most expensive one I have is either Unmasked Vader, worth about $90, or Thor. Some Thor one that was an exclusive, and it's like $30.
That's awesome. I have the free comic book day one in my car. It's the Loki.
Wait, which Loki do you have?
There's like a free comic. So when free comic book day was going to happen, you know, there were these boxes that you could buy, and and they were all mystery boxes of different sizes. So small to double XL, and it's I guess I knew it was a Funko mystery box, but I didn't really realize. I just knew there would be a T-shirt in there, so I'm like, oh, okay, what's going to be in here? So I got one for myself and one for my brother, and the one I got was a Loki one.
Oh, so jealous.
So there's a Loki Funko Pop, and then there's a shirt, which is nice. It's a white shirt, and it's the Loki on it, Funko Pop style.
Of course.
And then there's a comic book also, I think.
Yeah, there's a new box that is Loki themed that's supposed to come out, I think, next month, and it's got a combination of, depending on how many you order, there's 3 comics, 3 shirts, 1 guaranteed Funko, and then I think there's something else, but I want that Funko.
Yeah. So,
exclusives are hard to get, and they get really, really collectible, especially if you go with the San Diego Comic-Con ones. Like thousands of dollars for some of them.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's one Loki one that's, I think, $1,200 currently that I think goes San Diego Comic-Con 2016 or 17.
Hi.
Yeah, collectors. It's a lucrative business.
Was it you that were you the one that was that showed me the app so that it calculates how much your pops are worth?
Yeah, maybe I can.
Well, there's an app out there, guys. So if you're a Funko Pop collector, or even if you just have a few and you want to check out what's the sitch on your, because I throw all my boxes away for the most part. So.
Oh yeah, no, that just. No, the only ones I have out of box, I have doubles of.
Oh really? Jeez,
yeah.
See, those boxes take up too much room. Comic books are bad enough. There you go. Oh wait, I can make you big. Hold on a sec. Here you go, doxing. Oh, wish list right here. A Baby Yoda. Is that what that is?
That's the collection I have.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the ones I have are worth $1,100.
Is the Baby Yoda your most expensive one?
No, it's just the most recent.
Oh, I see. Very good. I was wondering about that. Whew. Funko Pops. If we were a Funko Pop giving away show, we'd have a ton of people watching us. But I would like to say hello to all the new people that have subbed to the channel. We're over 600 subs now.
Oh, art? Really? It was
Yeah,
what, 542 last week?
yeah. It's probably a little higher than that, but we've been so recently on Thinking Critical, which is a YouTube channel that I often am on. Recently, Wes has been plugging the people's YouTube channels, and I think a lot of people have come from that. So, yo, how's it going, everybody? We're gonna talk some comics in just a little bit. I'm gonna show you a little bit of Batman, Joker War Part 1. Don't worry, I won't spoil too much, but it'll be a little bit of it. Bruja's we're going to go into Mother's basement, and Bruja is going to show us some comics of the past. And I also am going to show you The Grot. And this is a graphic novel that came out, and I read every bit of it, and it's so fantastic. I want to let everybody know about it. So those are things that are coming. You can check out my favorite channels. I took off the Noah Van Sciver one because he got a hand tattoo recently. And I'm not a big hand tattoo guy anyway, but it's just so distracting when he's flipping pages. Now, if he wasn't flipping pages, I wouldn't care as much. But I took it right off. But
no, now that you say that, I've never thought about how distracting that would be, just because it is art moving around in front of the art you're trying to look at.
Well, I was wondering if maybe like an artist who's like just always using their hand, like if they're only looking at their hand all the time and whatever they're drawing, maybe having something on would be like, I don't know, some like this is what I'm doing this for, this spider web on my between my
well, maybe
thumb and finger.
Like Elvira fan or something.
Exactly, just
in the
like,
goth comics.
This is maybe it just looks really cool when you're like doing your shading, It's like, whoa.
That was a distracting though.
Exactly. It is. And so he's flipping the pages when he's looking through comics, and I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. Do it with your other hand or something.
I agree with that.
But his is really good. He's like an underground. He does things for Top Shelf or Fantagraphics, drawn in quarterly type books. He's done an Abe Lincoln book and Johnny Appleseed and his own stuff in a comic called Blammo. He's very good. And he has like a voice that isn't really out there in comics right now. Autobiographical and that style was very popular in the 90s, but it is less so these days.
I like comics like that too. I wish people would do them more.
Right. Let's see what we got here. Chris Miranda is here. Oh man, let me tell you, that Batman. Whew. Such good art. And it's very good. I liked it a lot. I'm caught up with all the past issues, and it just it leads up into this issue very well. Sequential Geek, hello. Oh yeah, I like that. This is great. Chris Miranda doing good work there. Don't forget to hit the like button.
Okay.
If you do. If you don't, I understand. I think it really doesn't matter if it's thumbs down. It's just whether or not you'll get it referred to you. But either way, action and interaction with us always helps. You can leave comments down below if this is not live for you, and let us know what you think. If you're looking forward to something, let us know. I'm always eager to see what people are interested in. All right, let's see who else. Fantastic. Yes, I did. I got Fantinuum, every single DC variant. Whatever happened to Joe Matt? Exactly. Whatever happened to Joe Matt? Hello, Moby. Why don't I share screen with you?
Yeah, what you got?
I'm going to do this really quick. Okay, this is our Instagram page. Hey, Fantastic Comics. Look at that. It's where we have our eBay page listed. Recently, we sold Action Comics 252 and Detective Comics 359. That's the first appearance of Batgirl and then the first appearance of Supergirl.
Were they graded?
They were. This is an 8.0, 8 point detective, and then the Action Comics, horrible picture. Oh shoot, wrong thing. There we go. 5.5. There's this rip right here. It's sad. It's not even really a rip. Oh, maybe it is a rip. Whatever. It's 5.5. What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah.
And
do you remember what year that is off the top of your head? That's got to be at least like 50, 60 years old.
Yeah, something like that. It's a great book. I'm going to show you this. Sound down so it doesn't matter. These are the DC books. I wish I didn't have to hear it, though. You can't hear that, can you?
No.
Okay, excellent. So Action Comics comes out. We've got Amethyst. I kept up the old stuff, obviously. Hey, that's a Batgirl Joker War tie-in, and there's Joker War Batman.
Nice.
Detective. Betty Page. That's not a DC comic. Books of Magic is. And let's see. Anything else? That's about it. Oh, there's a Shazam that's new. Oh, Flash is new. There you go. Justice League Dark. And yeah, that's my card, by the way, everybody. Shazam. That's it. This is what it looks like.
Oh, it's another Finn. Is that another new Finn cover for this week? Is that one Finn title?
That was last week's.
Okay.
Oh, wait, stop sharing. You don't want to see that yet. All right, good. So those are the DC comics that came out. DC is the company that's actually putting out a lot of material, and it's not really that much. If you add all the other companies that aren't really putting out a lot of material, even if a lot of people are coming in the store, there's not a lot to buy.
And then you add in the distribution problems.
And then you add it, yeah, and then you don't even get your Marvel at all, or you don't get your other company stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not bitching about it. I just want to let everybody know that's kind of what's going on in store. Now that awful truth is out of the way, we can talk about some comic books if you'd like.
I like those.
All right, cool. Let me get it set up. I mean, they're always set up, but I'll get the first one out, and then I'll share screen. I'm working on some videos of our last reviews. So like the one when you did Sarah and the Prince of Cats that Jeff did, and then, all the other stuff. That was from last week, but I'm slow.
I don't know how you can even go about doing all of that editing and stuff to begin with. About all I can do is post a picture on Instagram, and I only just started doing Twitter a little bit more.
Just do Twitter as business. The problem is that to get people to care about what you have to say something, and you got to decide like how you're going to do it. A lot of times people will come in and all they'll do is be like, hey, I'm a real big Batman fan, but I haven't really ever read that much. And, you're just really engaged in people and get them to try and talk to you. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, why would you? Or you can go and be snarky and say something silly and try and get someone to, to giggle, to guffaw.
That's where I tend to find success. I don't know why.
Yeah. But that's the problem. But the problem is, if people aren't reading it that way, then, depending on how snarky you are, it can come off like you're either like attacking someone or it's not funny at all. And maybe you're
definitely a fine art.
Yeah, it is. And there you go.
Oh, that's a good cover. I'm not even the biggest for DC or Batman comics, but that's a good cover.
Yeah, this is Jorge Jimenez doing the cover and the interior. And what has happened in recent Batman issues is that all of Bruce Wayne's funds, which funds with a D. And,
what, no more funsies?
No more funds. He lost them all. He always has like these crazy these corporate, these shell corporations that he can put his money into, and he moves stuff around because you don't want people to know that you're Batman building all this stuff or that you're connected with it, and all that. So Lucius Fox, or is it his son? I can't remember who's who, but Fox, the younger one, is working for Bruce Wayne, but he is also working for Batman, and his attention has been diverted towards the superhero life more, and he isn't paying attention to all the goings on in the company like he's supposed to, and Bruce Wayne loses it. Catwoman gets shot, and Joker owns everything, and he wants to, just basically kill all of Gotham.
What's new?
Yeah, really, exactly. So it starts off years ago, and we have this nice little 3-page Batman talking to Alfred about his last fight with the Joker, because this is one of his first fights, and Batman's like, this guy's never gonna, he's different. He doesn't just kill because he thinks it's funny or anything like that. He doesn't think that people are actually, it's not that they aren't worth living, it's that they aren't living, and all he's doing is helping them on their way a little faster.
Well, I mean, that's what Plato and Socrates believed. The unexamined life is not worth living, so he's not exactly wrong. Possibly not the best means to go about it, but is he wrong?
Well, it's funny that Batman would be his Joker's foil because he lost his parents. He often is portrayed as a guy that has a master plan for everything, and even if it's with his friends in mind. And I don't know. Batman's definitely imperfect in that way.
Well, I mean, he is just a man.
Yeah. A Batman.
Rich man, but a man.
Well, he was a rich man. Now he's lost everything. And not only that...
Now you're making me want to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but Joker is trying to take all of Batman's toys away. So he is... It's like all his master plans for every different scenario is being exploited against him. Anyway, this is just the very beginning.
Man, at that point, if he doesn't have his money, if he doesn't have his toys, like, what is he? Other than a really nicely colored and shaded comic.
Well, he has whatever's on him at the time, probably. The problem is the last time we saw Batman, he got his legs stabbed through by Deathstroke.
Ooh.
And he's probably not very healthy. So it feels a lot, in a way, reminiscent of Nightfall, when Bane first attacked Batman, and how he did it was all of Arkham Asylum was let loose, and Batman was stretched to his limits, and then when Bane finally showed up, it was like all over for Batman. This is kind of similar. Like, everything is like being, working against him, and now he's put in this situation. Now we're in the Joker War. And there you go. And here we have television reporters talking about all of Bruce Wayne's entanglements, Batman, and how this corporation that took over, this hostile takeover, they want all of the rights. They have the rights to all this stuff. Meanwhile, Joker's men are. Oh, I wanted to say that. Yeah. So here we have all this TV stuff. So we have Joker's men are kind of going around destroying Batman's property, and like this is a Batmobile escaping them, and we'll see in a second that it's not really them. I wanted to point out that we have all this television stuff, and this is obviously very reminiscent of Frank Miller, who did this in Dark Knight Returns, which was like the last Batman and Joker story. This is obviously used all the time in comic books, but I just wanted to point this out and give Frank Miller a little bit of praise. There you go.
That's nice.
Yeah. So here we have the Joker's men blowing up, and they're calling Punchline. This is the new Harley Quinn, by the way, if you don't know.
Like, is the same woman?
No, she's
Harley
taken the
Quinn?
place of Harley Quinn.
Okay.
And the last time we saw them fighting, Punchline slit Harley Quinn's throat. So,
Ooh.
jugular. Just like that.
What?
Yeah, and she also was the one that shot Catwoman in the head or something. Catwoman in the last issue, check this out. Catwoman in the last issue, she's in the hospital bed. And Batman's like, we got to get her out of there because, Joker's going to come after her. And by the time he gets there, she's gone. And she got picked up by the Penguin. And the Penguin, along with all these other villains, are like hiding out, basically, for all this stuff to go on. Yeah. So Punchline also has Fox. I don't remember Mr. Fox. I don't remember what his name is. I always say Lucius, but that's probably the father. Anyway, she's drugged him up, and he's giving the secret bases, the secret operations of Batman's that are out there. And here we get finally the Joker comes, and he's again. This is kind of reminiscent of Killing Joke, because you first meet Joker when he's buying the circus, and that's like where all the bad stuff's going to go on. And here he is buying this theater from this guy, and there's this whole conversation about it, and it's really good, so well done. It just looks like a lot of words, but it flows so well, and like everybody's so well crafted in just one page. Here we have Mr. Underbroker.
Like Hickman level text.
It's a lot, but like I said, Tinian is a very wordy writer, but this was really easy to read, and the story was so captivating. It was okay to read. It wasn't that bad. I really love this. Harvey Bullock is the new commissioner, but on the second panel of the second row, I really like the way that you see the shadows there. It really reminds me of maybe like a mix of Todd McFarlane and Bill Sienkiewicz on this page.
Yeah, I really love when they utilize like negative effects and less than clear lines.
Mm-hmm.
It can go really wrong. That's a big reason why I did not like Doctor Strange Damnation. But then you have things like Walt Simonson when you're looking at his space. The negative space that he uses in his art is just exquisite.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. This guy is really good. Jorge Jimenez is doing wonderful work here. We finally get to see some Batman. He does some Batman stuff. He uses some of his equipment. I really like this page.
Oh, that does look really great.
Yeah. And he gets into a fight with Punchline. And that's all I'm going to let you know about. It was quite wild, and the way it finished, it was quite a Batman issue. I liked it a lot, and
it's got some good action in it.
Oh man, this is a good issue. I'm not even a big Batman fan, but
I'm not even a Batman fan in the comics at all, and you're making me want to read it.
Yeah, it's so good. There's nothing. And the last issues have been drawn by Guillaume March, and oh my god, I love his style. He has this kind of, like, he does liney striations, like over wrinkled, not like Bermejo though. If it looks more like woodcut. Bermejo is
love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Guillaume March is like just doing some crazy stuff. Let me see what yeah, poor Wayne Manor. The end of the issue is like, what? No. Oh, look at this. We've got Legos, everybody.
Wait, you at the store?
No, I hope not. That means I have to pick something up probably. Let me do this. There we go. It's Zach the Lego Maniac. There he is.
Ooh, oh yes. I am so here for it.
All right, now we're gonna get the views, everybody. If anybody wants, oh no, you're probably not on YouTube anyway. It doesn't matter.
What, me?
No, I was gonna say if you want Zach to build something, just at him. But again,
Yeah, I don't think you can at YouTube.
well, if you're so you can if you're interested, so if you're on YouTube and you are in the chat, you can at somebody, and it will highlight their name. I don't know if you know that. And do you know that?
I think I've seen it at least, and that does make a lot of sense. I just don't usually spell out the whole name.
Well, that's what I mean. So you don't have to. It will fill it out for you. Also, it's a beautiful thing. Someone says hi, you go hi
Hi.
at ZA, and then it fills it out. Oh, excuse me.
Shows you how much I'm good at any kind of electronics.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Letterboxd helps.
So, what movies are you reviewing right now?
I just watched the 1931 Dracula with Bela Lugosi. I just watched the 1985 Lady Hawk with Michelle Pfeiffer, Matthew Broderick, and Rutger Hauer. Oh my god, that movie was so cheesy and so amazing, and I've already watched it twice. I watched it twice in a row in the same day. It was
in a row.
Like,
Lady Hawk.
And then I was absolutely convinced my husband would love it, but it's one of those ones that sometimes I think he's going to like it, but then he hates it. So I convinced him to watch it like right after I watched it.
But you made it sound like did you make it sound like it was his idea?
Well, he's not in the house, so yeah, more or less, because like the way to appeal to him is with cheesy ass synth music. So I told him, I was like, oh honey, you know that there's this movie that I watched with Rutger Hauer and the music was so great. I would really love to see a remake of it with Magnum do the soundtrack. And he was just like, wait, what's this now? Because there's this band that they're just totally underrated. They've been around since the 60s and they're still doing stuff, but they've never gotten popular. And that is their exact kind of sound. So yeah, I made him think he wanted to watch it when I really just wanted him to watch it.
Wow.
I'm good at that.
Michelle Pfeiffer at her hottest, Phantom says.
You know, I don't normally like little pixie cuts like that, but that was a good cut.
I like Michelle Pfeiffer. She just
I
kind
like
of
the longer hair though. It was this little like floopy pixie cut that worked, but I like her with the longer hair.
She made a good looking Catwoman. I think the character in the movie was like stupid.
Well, I mean, we all know when we're watching a Catwoman movie, we're not watching it for the story. We're watching it to look at her in the suit.
Well, the problem is, it was the Batman one, and it also had the Penguin, and he was like super disgusting. So,
it was perfect.
Ew, it was so nasty. I didn't like him. It was the worst Penguin.
My husband absolutely loves it. He hadn't seen any of the Batman movies up until about a month ago, and the original four, the Tim Burtons. He's seen all the Nolans and all that, but he's never seen any of the Batman Returns, any of those. And he loves Danny DeVito, so I started him off on that one, and he binged all four movies in such a short period of time, and he just loved every single one of them because they are stupid. He loves stupid stuff. I don't know what that says about me, but I don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Hey, so man, it takes all kinds, right? Boy, though, that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, or the Poison Ivy.
Oh God, don't get me started on the Poison Ivy. My husband and I have a really big fight on. I like practical effects. He likes CGI. He thinks the CGI in that for Poison Ivy is good. He thinks it's better than the practical effects for Audrey 2 in the remake of
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes, thank you.
When you say remake, are you talking the Rick Moranis one, or was there a newer one?
No, the Rick Moranis.
Okay.
There was the original one from like the 50s or something like that.
Right. And then there was even a movie and stuff like that before that.
I think
That
so.
had Jack Nicholson in it,
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
but I never saw that one. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what came first. I think it was the stage play, right?
I believe it started as a play and then a movie shortly after, yeah.
Jill will be telling us in a moment if she's paying attention. She tells me, she's like, I tell you all the time, you never pay attention. Yeah, you're right. No, I'm just joking. I just can't remember. That's really the reason. Anyway, Little Shop of Horrors, everybody. Okay. I want to point out. I want to do one more share screen. So hold on one second. What am I going to share? Oh yeah, the grot. Okay, this might take a minute or two. So
How long is this book?
it's a graphic novel. It's like, like 120, 140 pages. Something.
And you
like
read the
that.
whole thing?
I did. Usually, what will happen is I will sit in like 25, 40 pages of a book, and then I'll buy it, and then sit on it and not read it for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Because it's on my bookshelf now,
Well, yeah,
and it's something I'm
that's
going to
it,
get to
right.
eventually.
You
But
gotta
this
have to
book-
explore. Gotta find all the other good stuff.
I couldn't put this book down. This is an amazing book.
But I
You
was
have.
gonna say, like, you don't usually like cover to cover a book that quickly, so there's got to be something to it.
Yeah. Well, I like this guy anyway.
Who is it?
His name is Pat Grant. Let me show you his first work. So when we first opened Fantastic Comics in 2011, one of the first books we got in that was new was a book called Blue.
Oh, yeah,
Have
I
you
know.
seen this?
Yeah,
This is a horizontal book.
yeah, that's
or
why
vertical.
I
Yeah,
remember it.
horizontal.
It's not the most fun book to shelf with the rest of graphic novels,
Yeah, people don't make horizontal books. They suck.
right?
Oh, damn. Damn. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. All right. So here's a neat little page.
Oh, that does look nice, though.
So this is a whole thing about. So he's an Australian, Pat Grant, and this is all about like these people from the sea that came out on land and started living in Australia, and we're following these characters around. And there's a better picture. Isn't that neat looking?
That I really love when artists utilize the one color thing. I have that. I think it's a Red Sonja, originally a Roy Thomas, and
Oh yeah, I have that too.
super black and white, not even grayscale, black and white, and then huge splashes of red, and it is so gorgeous.
Yeah. All right, so we're following these Australian kids, and these kids are quite a piece of work. Anyway, it's not about Blue; it's about the grot.
Yeah, what's this one?
All right, so
Gravity Falls art now.
say what was that?
The show like Gravity Falls. It's not as like small chibi kind of design, but it's got that really clean round look to it.
Yeah, it's probably. This guy's been working around for a while. It's probably one of those guys that or these artists that's influenced by the people that are influenced, or people that are making this, Steven Universe or the Gravity Falls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Around the same time. You know how kind of like, on one side of the world, one person might be inventing the same thing on the other side of the world, and it's, art and the internet and seeing other people's works. We're all influenced by all sorts of things these days, for sure. I think, like, I hesitate for people that are like, oh, I don't like this cartoony style. I can understand, but this is a really deep and really beautiful story. And the art by Fionn McCabe is excellent, not using the one color thing. And in the epilogue, we see how people are traveling in the far future. And we meet our main characters. There's the mother, and then Lippy, the white guy, and then can't remember the other guy's name. Penn, that's what it is. They're brothers. And they're going to, they're going to this area so that they can find their fortune.
Okay.
And so you see someone that's coming back from the other direction. And this guy's made some money.
Jank-ass motorcycle?
What was that?
Just what kind of a vehicle is that?
Yeah, it's all bicycle. It's all cycle stuff going on as far as like transportation. That and like ocean stuff. And then they get a close up of this guy. He's coming back with this sludge that he's picked up, and as a result, he's made money. And this is what the toll of doing anything out in the area that they're going will take on you. And that's what they can smell the swamp. Yeah. And the mother is like having this conversation with the kids, and it's just the same conversation about what they're going to be doing and where they're going and what kind of people to expect and all this other stuff. And I just love how this conversation's going on, and meanwhile Penn's looking out the window and we're seeing everything that he's looking at, and it's pretty crazy.
Nice. Ooh.
And here's the mother saying that what they're doing is she's gonna they're working towards their passage into manhood, and it's like a little joke amongst them.
Is there a particular time period that this is listed as taking place?
This is like the far future type thing.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say post-apocalyptic because there is society, but the society they're going into is very hard and
seems a little Mad Maxy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like it's what do I want to say? So obviously they're not using like electricity like we normally use, or there's no gasoline, I guess, or whatever, and everything is pedal power. But these people still have like aspirations of success. And I don't know if aspirations of success are necessarily what's going on in Mad Max. It feels to me a little bit more about survival and clannish behavior, type stuff. Of course, boiling down this story to the root, it's probably the same way because everybody's out for themselves here.
Well, I mean, the whole appeal to a story isn't the destination, it's how to get there. So just because it's a similar story doesn't mean the way it's told isn't completely different, which is the appeal.
Here's some nice quiet scenes showing passage of time and what they're doing. So you can see that even the boat is being pedaled by people. So it's all pedal power.
So it doesn't even go into like the steampunk arena, like it's all like literal man powered.
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
Yeah. Look at that. That's great. It's just it's a hard life that they're entering. And we find all right, so here on the boat, Lippy gets up. His name's Lipton, but they call him Lippy. And like the suit. And he meets his mother, and she says he's late. And like an hour late. And the whole idea is that he's supposed to check the starter kits because it's culture. The idea is that they're going to go to the swamp where all the people are digging up this algae so that they can lose limbs and hopefully become rich. And they're going to sell these people yogurt. Yogurt.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has to come down in the morning and check on the starter kits. As a result, the mother says, "This is going to be your company. I'm going to give it to you to run." And he's like, "Well, what about my brother? What about Penn? He's not going to be happy." And he's all, "What are you going to tell him?" And she's like, "It sounds like this is a job for the new boss to tell him what's going on." So he's all automatically thrust into it. I love the look on his face here.
That art is really fun. Oh, that landscape is nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's very expressive. Every character has a different face, even if they're somewhat, so very similar, with the art style. This is a person who knows what they're doing and is like very comfortable getting it done. And I'm not going to show you everything, obviously. I'm just showing you some nice little moments. When they finally get to where they're going, they need to get a guide. And so both Lippy and Penn get their own guide. This is Penn's. And she's going to show him around. He likes her because she's not very couth.
You don't say.
Yeah, really. Look, what's it to you, posh cock?
We're looking to hang out.
Yeah, it's a cute, fun book, but it's also about trying to build a business in a land where everybody's trying to take something from you. And here we see another character here, and it's important that you know about him because he gets involved with this woman. And then later on, we're going to see them because Penn and his guide go to a cockfight. And he gets introduced to the whole idea.
For a page.
Yeah, look at all that. He gets let in on the secret of how the flim flam game is going to go and how they're going to take this guy for all his money. And he's like, "Will you tell me about it?" Meanwhile, Lippy is trying to get a place so that he can sell his yogurt, and he's looking at all these places, and they're all horrible. And then finally, when he's in this last joint, he hears somebody talking about getting off their property, and he's like, "Hey, can I lease this place?" Yeah. Anyway, before that, Lippy finds a wallet, and the wallet has money. And he's like, "What should I do?" And everybody's like, "Keep it, you idiot." Yeah. But he's like, he's a very nice soul, and he actually returns it. He was gonna give it to the person at the hotel, but this guy is pretty creepy looking, so he gives it himself. And he meets these ladies who are doing all these running these numbers, and they got all this money. And since he brought the cash back, this lady's like, "You're like the only honest person, and if you ever need a favor, let me know."
Ooh, wonder if that'll come back.
Yeah, you wonder if. Meanwhile, Penn's being taught the scheme, and this lady's she's like writing everything on the wall. And I just love this book. It's just so good, and supposedly there's going to be more to it because it definitely leaves you in a very very crazy spot. I mean, these kids are like they're in a really crazy situation at the end of this, and it's really good. Anyway, here's Lippy being told that his guide's a con man. This lady's like, "I know this for certain. He's a con man." And here he's like, look at him. He's like, "What?" And the con man's like, "You had $5 million on you. You were going to give to this lady." And millions, whatever. Anyway, he's like, "You can't have all your bankroll. You have to have it in your house at all times, or you got to leave it behind and all this other stuff." And Lippy's getting warned about like all this, the chicanery that's going to go on if he like trusts this guy. And the guy though is telling him about how to spot a mark, and he's showing Lippy all these other guys, kind of endearing himself to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is like the last couple pages I have for you. Here's the mother. She just keeps looking at the cultures, working on it. And Lippy tells a story about his brother, and when he got lost at the market one day, he was looking all over for anybody to help him, and he just stood there. And then finally he saw his brother, and he waved at him, and his brother just walked away into the crowd and like left him there. And Lippy's such a little twerp, And he's like, "I don't know if I can ever trust my brother." And his mother is like, "Of course you got to trust your brother. He's, you have to learn to trust people." Meanwhile, as she's telling him this story, the guy who's going to get taken for all this money is, waking up at night, and he starts stealing his money from his parents because he's like, "I'm going to make all this this money from these fools." I know the trick and how to get in it. Anyway, yeah, really good book. I like this a lot. I highly recommend everybody pick it up. Have me order it for you if you need it. I'll do that.
What's the price listed? Is it a hardcover or a paperback?
It's a paperback. It's only $20. This, as far as I'm concerned, is it would be my pick for like an Eisner type book. For sure.
It definitely it has a really great depth, even just looking through those couple of pages with a lot of really nice detail.
Yeah, Sequential Geek asks about the size of the book. It's definitely a little bit larger than a regular sized comic book or graphic novel. So I don't know. I have it right here, so let me show it to you. Here, get you. Me big. Here's a comic book. Oh, it's pretty much the same size, actually. It's just slightly bigger that way.
Ooh, Tenet.
Say, what was that?
Add the Tenet on the back of that issue.
Oh, but I heard something about that being delayed or something like that.
Oh yeah. They delayed it until I think they said something later this year, but they're still trying to release it this year, and I think they're insane. Like, movies don't need to be released in theater. They need to do VOD.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Oh, dude, movies are done in the theater. If they don't start doing something like drive-in theaters more, or, you know, sides of building type stuff. What was that?
I would be so down for more. Because, like, the problem with a lot of drive-ins is they don't get many good movies, and I have no faith for things like Dune or Tenet actually getting on drive-in screens. But if people would actually realize that the in-house theaters are not gonna be available for a while, I think we would actually be able to get better movies in drive-ins. But really, we just need VOD.
Right. I agree. Video on demand. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Comic books on demand. Let's do it.
Just give us the Nolan. Give us Tenet. Give us Dune. Give us the movie.
So why do you read comic books? Why do you? I mean, do you read you read novels, right? Anything like that?
I read comics more than the regular books. I definitely read regular books. I'm reading a couple Star Wars novels right now, but you know, comics, they literally give you a different view into the world of the story that you're reading because it has art, and the pace of it is also really appealing. So there's 1,000 different reasons why. And then, you know, there's not to mention the historical background of how comics and pulp magazines and pulp stories were what revolutionized things in movies and created all of these characters that are the biggest things in the world. So comics, there's a lot to them.
Yeah, I often will say, like, if I'm trying to, like, you know, put something out there so that, I'm really saying something smart here. One of the things that's cool is that comic books can actually react to social, or it doesn't have to be social, but it just pop culture, something that's going on today. They have a chance of getting it out there faster than like slogging through writing an entire novel type thing.
True.
You're getting it published, printing it, getting it out there. Comic book might be only like 20, 25 pages, and you know, you can get something that's very timely out there before almost anybody else.
Yeah, like I said, the pace of it, like, it's really appealing to be able to go to a story that gets published like every couple of weeks or a couple of months, and it's a new story every time, but it has the ability to apply to the time that it's published with the story. Mm-hmm. Like you said, just like social commentary, like it's like how in South Park they would just do the week's news in every episode.
But yeah, they were very good at that. To
extent, comics have that ability, so it's really nice to be able to read that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's and I think, like, with pictures, it was always the pictures for me. Even though I can't draw and I wanted to work in comics, I knew I was like a writing kind of guy. I mean, if a comic doesn't have a story that I care about, really for the most part, the art doesn't matter. But the art always matters. How can something that isn't as important be sometimes the most important thing all at the same time? But that's what a comic book is, you know?
Right? No, that's what I was saying earlier with the Doctor Strange Damnation. I love the story. It's Doctor Strange with Vegas descending into hell and Mephisto takes over. It's awesome. But the art just didn't do it for me. So I never even actually finished it, even though I loved the story.
It's pretty good. I like the way he gets out of that situation.
I don't know.
Ghost Rider's involved, everybody. So if you're a Ghost Rider guy, then a person, then you should check that out. I thought the art was okay. I can't remember who did it, but I thought it was okay. I just can't remember.
It wasn't bad. More than anything, it was just like it would have certain moments where it would have a view of people talking, and it was great, and the detail was so beautiful. But then you would have other scenes where there would be movement depicted, and it just got lazy, and it just switched over to a much more simplified line, and it just seemed like it was almost half drawn. So it's not even that it was bad. What was there had a good base. It just seems like half of it was only half drawn.
Right. Yeah. And so I also my little secret about comics was that was my time to hang out with my father, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd go to the comic store together, and you know there was a drive involved, so you know.
No, that's what it always was with my grandma. Is the one that would take me, and it was like I lived out in the boonies, so it was like a 40-minute drive to the shop, and it was always great. It was a little day with grandma. Go to the comic shop. She would go get her nails done, and I would go next door and read, and the car ride home there and back. It was great.
Yeah. When I finally figured out that, like, you know, like the timing between issues, like it wasn't until that comic book experience with my father that I realized that, you know, comics had like a schedule that they were adhering to, you know, that, I can remember and then it will come out and I'll get it rather than just bump into whatever comic I picked up.
So good though, just to be able to go into the shop and look to see the new titles, and best thing in the world. Wish I could go do it more.
Here we go. Doctor Strange Damnation was traced.
Wait, really?
It was all traced.
Was it?
Probably. Well, I mean, that is a thing, you know. Certain illustrators, even more so now than ever. All right. So back in the day, you'd have to at least amass a swipe file. So I guess like Rich Buckler, an old artist, was famous for having like the greatest swipe file. You know, if he needs a panel drawn out, he can like go to this. You know, he's got it. He's got it marked A7, you know, or whatever, and he's gonna pick it out, and he's like, "Oh, this is the panel that will be perfect for this right here." I might be wrong about Rich Buckler, but I think it's that one. And then here we go, traced or Photoshop. Yeah, or the thing is Google search. Sometimes what you can do is you can look at a comic book and you can Google search like, recently someone did a cheerleader pose, and it's a cheerleader doing the splits. And if you like cheerleader doing splits on Google or whatever, Google search it, it's the first panel. Or it's the first picture you'll see. George Bush, when he is done being president, he's doing all these paintings. Everybody's like, "Oh, look at all this painting he's doing." You know, he's so different than he was when he was president. And if you like Google search these images, it's all famous people. If you Google search them, it's like usually the first image that you're going to see. Before, you don't have to scroll down far, and you're going to find the picture that he was drawing or that he was painting.
Well, I mean, it's a way to reference things. I guess it's not a bad or illegitimate way to do it.
It's funny. Diablo Hashcraft, he's like, man, no more inkers, so swipe everything. I totally had this conversation on Twitter, I think today or yesterday, and I said that like ink, because they were like talking about colorists doing the inking instead, and I said coloring is so unimportant. It's superfluous unless it's a superhero comic book. Coloring, that's what coloring is. Superfluous. You don't need it. And you know what? We're going to look at a couple comic books that you have, and I think the black and white ones look the best, if you ask me.
They do definitely have some really nice stuff.
I mean, even the worst art, if it's just black and white, you know, pencil and ink, oh, it looks so much better than like a bad penciled, but like really good coloring. It won't matter. There's just nothing you can do about it.
I think
Maybe.
It's definitely situational. Depends on every comic.
All right. That was really quick going through that.
Yeah, what do we got?
All right, here we go. All right, Mother's Basement. We are now in Mother's Basement. And we've got Shara's Dregs. What does that even mean? I don't even know. It's a brouhaha.
It means I pulled out a handful of comics out of my box randomly and saw what was in there. I didn't even bother looking to see what chunk it was.
All right, I was dogging on coloring just now.
Oh,
but you have something here that is actually kind of unique, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this one was really, really interesting, and it was a trip to read because it is basically a comic book of every conspiracy theory that you can think of, and it's kind of amazing.
What do you mean, like a moon landing conspiracy?
It takes place in Oakland, so think Berkeley hippie crazy with the auras and crystals and reptile people. There's a lot of it with the reptile people going on in that. Those are the antagonists in that one. And
Sure.
The main character is this little girl who is a sensitive. They're indigo is what they call themselves. They're indigo people. And if you look it up, the term indigo people is a term in like the metaphysical self-help group for the sensitive peoples that see auras, have ESP, are clairvoyant, psychic, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what this book is about.
This is right up your alley.
Yeah, like I only got it because flipping through it, the art was just so vibrant, and I saw some things on chakras, and I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? That looks really cool. But then as I started reading it, it was surprisingly fun because it runs around with this little girl who is saved by those people that you just saw on that last page there, where they just fall out of the damn sky and they start protecting her against these little light beings. What those light beings are is what the girl sees when she looks at people, like that top pink panel. That is how she experiences her world, and she's seeing the auras of people and their energy, and that's how she can tell the reptile people are following her. And it is just bizarre, but it's so fun, and the art in it is so beautiful and vibrant that it has a bit of a cartooniness to it that I'm not entirely sure I like very much, but the coloring of it is just so fun, and the story is something that I think a lot of Berkeley Bay people can appreciate.
I see.
So I didn't get a chance to figure out where the comic came from, because if you go to their website, they only have 2 issues and they don't list where they're from. But I'm thinking it might be a local publisher and local writers, because it does take place in Oakland. And the sticker on the back of the book is from a local comic shop. So I'm pretty sure it's an independently published book.
Nice. All right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's some scenes where, it doesn't look like they're actually in the, in the environment totally.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, it's just got a disembodying effect at certain times that... I'm not entirely sure I like, but it, you know, the whole thing is about disembodied energy. So I don't know.
So you
Maybe
can give it a pass
that
a bit.
is an actual like surrealism to the art. So, you know, maybe not 100% for me, but I would definitely continue to read it. So I want to see if I can find that second issue.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. And you know, the thing is that, and I don't want to like dog on anybody's artwork almost ever. You know, I mean, obviously you get into
Well,
conversations where you do.
For someone doesn't mean it's bad.
Well, there is that. Also, when you're an independent creator, you got to get this done, you know,
True.
and if you're a writer and you need an artist in order to make that happen, you got to get it done, double done, you know.
Yeah, and especially
And
if
you
this
can't.
actually was independent. That it there is another, yeah, one more independent comic that I was reading that I'm gonna guess is the one that you really liked, but the art in this one is somewhat impressive for a lot of the independent stuff I have.
Yeah, yeah, cool. All right, hold on a sec. Let me get rid of that. All right, so that was Indigo what?
Indigo Clan. And it
Indigo
only just
Clan.
came out last year, and it's on the second issue. So I suppose we'll see if a third one will ever come out.
All right, let's do this one. All right, so this is a comic book that I have known of for as long as it's been around. Warrior Nun Aureola. Oh, and Scorpio Rose too in this one.
Yeah, I wanted more Scorpio Rose. She was actually the main
Oh.
character in this one. So when I picked it up, I expected it to be about warrior nuns, and then it was about this Scorpio Rose. So I have, I think, 3 issues, and I'm really excited to read more because I
Nice.
did not expect to like this one as much as I did.
So Scorpio Rose, oh my god, I think it was Pacific Comics when I read Scorpio Rose, and what she does like tarot readings type stuff, right?
Yeah, she is a gypsy witch, is what they call her in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she pulls out cards a couple of times, and I think she does like some other magic stuff. She might have like a magic sword, but she reads cards. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, when Scorpio Rose came out, it was a Marshall Rogers drawn comic book. You guys can all check me on that and tell me I'm right. Anyhow, but Steve Englehart being the writer, that makes sense because he probably was back then also. This is an Antarctic Press comic. It is a company that is run by Ben Dunn. He wrote and drew Ninja High School, which ran forever.
Robotech too.
Yeah, there were some Robotech books. There's a lot of there were licenses out there. Another one that he did was Warrior Nun, and then recently it became a television series, right? Or streaming.
It debuted actually only a couple of weeks ago. It was like July 2nd this year, so it's brand new. But I actually know him because he's Dunn. That is because he was an animator on the movie A Scanner Darkly.
Oh, was he really?
He was, right?
Huh. That was Rotoscope? Was that what that was?
It was Rotoscope, yeah.
Yeah, I dig Rotoscope, though.
It was definitely an interesting movie. Like, I liked it. A little bit hard to get used to the animation, but once you get into it, it is just so detailed and fun and vibrant, and I really wish they would utilize rotoscoping more.
That was based off of a Philip K. Dick novel, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Keanu Reeves is in it?
There are a lot of people, but Keanu is the main character. I think like Winona Ryder is also in it, but it pretty much everybody in that is an actor you would know, but Keanu is the main one.
Geez, Ben Dunn draws busty ladies, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Ben Dunn.
It's good though. And see, this is what I mean by like, okay, this comic I think was like 94, which not always the best era for comic art, but I do love the vibrance of the color going on. it really reminds me of just like super, super pulpy. Like, I don't want to call it low quality, but think of like 70s exploitation movies is what it kind of vibes out to me as. So I dig it a lot.
All right. What's the story about on this one? I've never read Warrior Nun Ariella.
There is so much going on in this book, and it is so ridiculous. It starts off with the Gypsy Rose, and she's just walking around town, and people are calling her a gypsy and being all mad at her. But then the nuns are trying to get her to leave town because she's going to bring in evil, and all of this shit is happening.
Well, like werewolves and stuff?
There's some shape-shifting stuff going on. There's like the main warrior nun apparently is a 600-year-old fallen Valkyrie that started a church. And one of these two nuns that you see here, spoilers, ends up dying, but then she comes back as the reincarnation of that original Valkyrie nun. So there's just so much to this one that it ran from like, I think 1994 to 2005. And it has such a detailed world to it between all of the characters that this Gypsy Rose is called on by the anti-pope to help purge the church of where these warrior nuns are, of all of the evil that has taken over the church. And it's just this, it's written in the kind of doth thou language that you would expect religious stuff to be. And it's just really explicit nunsploitation religious battle between a gypsy and a couple of witches and these anti-popes and this bishop. So it's so schlocky and it's so fun because the whole appeal to it is it's just kind of ridiculous. Like the two warrior nuns, one of them is in love with the other one, but she won't admit it because, you know, they're Catholic. You're not supposed to do that. That's a
really.
So just, there's a lot of religious talk about, you know, damnation and I'm going to do this in the name of God before I slaughter you. And it's especially after watching something like Ladyhawke, it was just really a fun read that I hope I can find some more books of because it sounds like a really extended world that I could dig a lot.
I think I can't remember which company it was. Maybe Titan. There's a Warrior Nun comic that came out not too long ago. I think we have a few of those issues.
Really?
So yeah, you might check out those next time you come in, especially if you've seen the movie or the program, I guess, recently.
I was definitely going to watch it. It seems like they changed a lot of stuff that I'm not entirely sure if it benefits the show, but I haven't watched it. I'll still check it out. I have faith.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Chris. You gotta love nunsploitation. There's a bunch out there.
Nunsploitation. I like that. All right. I'm gonna probably skip Widow. That's more for Jeff. He needs to see that.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this one.
Issues of that one too, so you know I can read more and we can cover it a little bit better if we hold on.
Oh yeah, Widow. Oh my gosh. All right, let's talk about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Holmes.
This one was fun. This is the one that I was thinking of when earlier you were talking about just a slightly more woodcut type.
Oh yeah, sure.
Art and the black and white. I do really like the art in this one because it does really honor the kind of art that you get in the original Sherlock Holmes and stories from all of those like Barnes and Noble edition basic. Mm-hmm. Like it's such a great, crisp, clean art that has a lot of detail. This is only a one-shot issue.
Oh, wow. That's great.
It is so detailed. It is such a full story that it kind of is a good one-shot. And it has to do with, it's just a really great visually told story because how it starts is there's a murder. Sherlock is trying to figure out where the murder happened and how it happened, and it comes to find that Hyde is the one.
Dr. Jekyll's
the
Hyde.
one that killed the person, but Jekyll had nothing to do with it, and Sherlock is trying to figure out how to prove his innocence. And it's just this back and forth thing where you go see Mycroft and they enter into a whorehouse, and he goes and does this little scientific thing, mixing powders to try to figure out if he can help Jekyll and Hyde. And it's just, for a one shot, it was such a great book. And like that panel, that has to do with an acid that he was trying to do to help no longer Jekyll, so no longer Hyde. So he was trying to completely just end, like, not kill, but no longer allow Hyde access to the surface.
Sure.
So it was just this little scientific experiment that the entire book is written very, very much like the original Sherlock Holmes. Like, I read all the original Sherlock Holmes. I read Jekyll and Hyde, and it's a really, really well written story that does actually read like one of the original pulp novels.
Dang, really?
Yeah, it's
wow.
really good. Like,
Right,
it's
let's
a
go
good
back to the cover.
one
Who
shot.
is this?
I'm really upset there's no more.
There's Stephen Philip Jones and Seppo McKinnon. Yeah, those are some Tome Press. That's wild. All right, cool. So if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, that's definitely a good book for you.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I have a Sherlock Holmes tattoo. Like, he's definitely one of my biggest characters I'm a fan of, and like, looking at it, you know, it's an independent comic. Sometimes those are sparsely written.
Mm-hmm.
This one is so heavily detailed, and it's so good.
All right, last. All right.
Yeah.
First, tell me the title. What is this? Where did you get it? Did you get this from Half Priced?
Yeah, I got this from Half Price, and it's, oh geez, it's called,
Matador.
It's actually called Bastards of the Infinite.
Oh, okay.
But it has like 9 different issues in it. Like this, it's a thicker book, and what it does is the first few pages is the story of Infinite Bastards.
Uh-huh.
And then it has a preview for another story in like a part 5, and then it has the second issue of the Bastards, and then it has something about a matter. Like, the only thing I can come to with this one is it's written like the internal thought process of somebody going crazy, and it's not exactly good, but it's really, really interesting because he's going through, and if you look at the art, what you're seeing is generally what he perceives. So you'll see one panel where he is just looking at a woman that he meets in a bar, and that's how she actually looks. But then the next panel over, you'll see just this like hideously grotesque version that almost looks like a Rob Zombie art kind of deal. And that's his experience and everything. Oh, here, yeah. Like, here.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me stop sharing, and then we can see what you're...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very good. Let me
like,
make you big.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's somebody he meets at a bar, and he goes and he takes home. But that is what he actually sees her as. So this whole thing, I watched this short film. It was an experimental short film about mental illness one time, and it was just 9 minutes of dialogue of somebody talking about what it's like to experience mental illness. And that's exactly what this is in a horrifyingly detailed art. So there's almost no real narrative to it because it's just him experiencing life. But the way it's told is so palpably felt because of the art and the way it depicts what the world actually is versus what he experiences.
Right. That was I like it. I mean, God, there's something so gritty, and even if it doesn't really come across as like perfect a form, or like the figure work isn't like super spot on, when something is black and white, it just I don't know, man, it has a certain realness to it that uh with more and more people coloring with, you know, tablets and drawing with tablets, the more I mean, it does translate differently when it gets put on paper.
It does.
Know?
It was like, look at things like Junji Ito books. Like, those are all black and white, and the detail in the faces has so much more emotion than you get in most types of color artwork. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a way to utilize black and white art. I think particularly in horror, it works really well. So, I mean, it doesn't always look the most appealing, but the way it expresses the art is just, it's so good. Because it has more emotional availability.
Well, and I don't know, man, it's like my favorite, even when there's color in the comic book and it's like my favorite art, I think, like, you know, if I can see Bill Sienkiewicz in black and white, it's just as good as if somebody colors his stuff, you know, or if he maybe colors the stuff.
See, but stuff like Sienkiewicz, like, if that's just shading, that can be just as good if it's color, if not better.
Yeah. Uzumaki is disturbing and grotesquely gorgeous.
Movie 2002.
Wait, what?
There's an Uzumaki movie that I think came out in 2000.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Huh.
It's a heavy one.
Yeah. Well. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, that's the spiral one, right?
Like spirals. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
I remember that.
You know, he can take the most mundane sounding things and then just make them terrifying. It's great.
Have you read Monster by any chance? It's by Naoki Urasawa.
He's a
writer.
Not read it, but I do have it.
So I read a little bit of that. That one's really good. It's the
art.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He always gets really good artists.
I got it.
Pluto.
Story wise, I just want to look at that art.
That guy did Pluto also, writing wise. Naoki.
No, not Mobius.
No. This is all manga. I'm sticking with manga right now. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I don't know about manga. Oh, you know what? I wanted to share something. So I was on a show the other day. This is late enough now in the show that I can play this. I was on a show the other day on Saturday, and there were other comic store owners. In fact, that's why we get together, is because we're comic store owners. Little guys that don't have a voice type thing. Everybody has a voice on YouTube. Anyway, this guy who's been in the business for a long time wanted to let everybody know.
You seem like you're a fucking great comic shop owner, you.
I appreciate that.
Come out and see you sometime.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, I'm going to clip that. And there I did.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, we had a cool conversation about comic books today, right?
I think so. We got some
I didn't really explore our little tag because I thought we'd have Jeff and it would be like just like blah, blah, blah and talking, but it's no big deal.
There's always future.
That's right. There's always a future.
I mean, we're on lockdown. What else are we doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep. I've got a. So these are some videos that I'm working on. Yeah. One that I've done myself is a Thor #4 from recent Thor, and then Steel. And the title of the video will be 3 Hammers, 2 Comics. There you go. That's nice. Because there's 3 hammers in those stories. And then I have the ones that we've been working on. The Ether that I did from last week. What'd you review again last week? Do you remember?
Comics.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Sorry, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah
for the main
and Klaus.
Yeah.
That was the main ones right there. Yeah. And then Jeff with the Prince of Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about some more comic books next week.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know. We're still working on the store, obviously. Oh, which one? What's Pathfinder?
Pathfinder.
What, like the role playing game Pathfinder?
No, actually, this is originally based on a Sami legend. So it's based on a story of my ethnicity, and then it was made into a movie that was nominated for Best International Movie 1988 at the Academy Awards, and remade into a movie that completely flopped, starring Carl Urban. So I was going to read this and watch those.
All right, awesome. Pathfinder, what is like native type thing, or
yeah, think Viking,
indigenous? Oh, okay.
Fighting, just very barbarian, just Viking kind of stuff.
Awesome. All right, so we got that to look forward to next week.
It'll be a good one.
All right. I want to say thank you for everybody for tuning in. We got 12 viewers still. I know I'm one of them. But hit the like button on the way out if you've been...
It's the Legos.
Oh, it is the Legos, without a doubt. If you are watching this show after the fact and want to say something or add your 2 cents or correct me on something that I might have said wrong, let me know in the comments down below.
Yes,
and I'm going to leave you with another commercial, and then I'll say see you later. So let me do this commercial one last time.
Yeah.
Hey, Fantastic Comics viewers, Yule here with a unique opportunity. You can now buy your very own Heel Yule t-shirt. The guys on the Wrestling Council thought that some of the things I had to say were a little heelish, a little negative, and of course everybody at Fantastic Comics knows that this isn't a heel act. This is just Yule. Pure, unadulterated Yule. And now you can get one of my t-shirts in a variety of different colors. Anybody that does will get a discount if you come in the store wearing it and I ring you up. So there's a reason to get it. And it also doubles as a Dodger t-shirt when you're upset with Dave Roberts making ridiculous pitching changes. So don't forget to buy your very own Heel Yule t-shirt. Embrace your inner heel.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
See ya.